Hey everyone, what is going on? So we're going to be covering a regional tournament today. Not my regional, we're covering K-pop's regional. So we're going to see how they do. And yeah, it looks like he's running Hypno, Azumel Alteria, Bastiodan, Ferrothorn, and Toxicroak. So I'm really interested to see how he uses Ferrothorn because I know Ferrothorn, it has Bullet Seed, right? So it recently got buffed in the new update. So it's going to be a really solid Pokemon, and I can't wait to see how he uses it. And his opponent in round 1 is using Venusaur, Azumel Alteria, Bastiodan, Alolan Marowak, and Toxicroak. So let's just go ahead and start diving right into the commentary. So this Purified Hypno actually has Focus Blast on it, and I've seen a bunch of different Hypnos. In my Voyager Cup Mega Tournament, I actually lost to a Hypno that ran Ice Punch and Thunder Punch, but he's opting to run Ice Punch and Focus Blast. I've seen Thunder Punch and Focus Blast, I've seen Thunder Punch and Ice Punch, Thunder Punch and Shadow Ball. I've seen a bunch of different moves. I mean, Hypno just has access to a bunch of different moves, doesn't it? But it looks like he's switching into his own Azumel. This Azumel is carrying Playrough, so Playrough coming in from the opposing Azumel, going to hit for good damage, and then Venusaur comes in to go for the Frenzy Plant, but it looks like K-Pop is opting to let it go through, knocking out the Azumel. So Alteria and Hypno both going to be super effective to the Venusaur. And it looks like that Hypno is coming in, wants to get to the Ice Punch. Couldn't get to it immediately, but does get to the Ice Punch. This is going to do some pretty good damage. Almost enough to knock it out, not quite. But Hypno does faint. Out comes the Alteria. Alteria does farm down the Venusaur before I could get off a Sludge Bomb. In comes Bastiodan. This is not looking good for the Alteria. Alteria cannot hang with Bastiodan at all. So it doesn't matter how many Sky Attacks and Dragon Pulse you get off. It's not going to be able to do anything to the Bastiodan. So yeah, K-Pop just going to allow this Alteria to go down. Well, it doesn't go down yet, but it's going to fall now. So good game in round 1. So taking a loss in game 1 at least, not round 1. We'll see how this goes. So jumping into game 2. Looks like he's leading with the Azumel versus Bastiodan, so definitely favorable for the Azumel. So as you can see, it is a high Hydro Pump and Playrough variant. So going to switch out into Venusaur. In comes the Hypno. So yeah, Hypno Confusion definitely super effective to Venusaur, but Frenzy Plant is a powerful move, and well, Sludge Bomb in this case going to still do a decent amount of damage to Hypno. I feel like the Frenzy Plant would have been the better option to go for, but opting to go for Sludge Bomb. Now Hypno is going to use the Ice Punch to knock out the Venusaur. So Venusaur does collapse, and in comes the Azumel. So probably knows he doesn't have to worry about the Thunder Punch. So both of these moves are going to be resisted by Azumel, but you might as well just go for something, right? So Ice Beam hitting the Hypno, going to feint that Hypno, and in comes his own Azumel. At least he has the Playrough, so this is going to do some pretty good neutral damage, better than Hydro Pump and Ice Beam. But it does meet the shield, and they're just both charging up. Another Playrough coming out from K-Pop's Azumel. So this is going to do some pretty good neutral damage, as I said before. So, okay, going to go ahead and shield that Azumel to block the Playrough. Yeah, he does have the Toxicroak in the back, so it looks like Bastiodan and Toxicroak going to pull that switch. That was a really fast switch on K-Pop's side. So nice switch to get that Toxicroak in against the Bastiodan ASAP. Because you could just farm down at this point with counter. Yes, the Azumel is going to come in. Going to go ahead and go for that bait. It's going to be that Mud Bomb. But I feel like the shield has to come up. Yeah, because the Azumel is already low. So now all K-Pop has to do is just get to that Sludge Bomb to knock out the Azumel. And that is going to be able to steal up game 2. So currently 1-1. Really well played by both opponents. And we're going to jump into game 3 of round 1 in just a moment. So here we go. By the way, if you want to follow this trainer, definitely check out the Twitter link in the description down below. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the final game of round 1. So it's going to be Hypno versus Venusaur. So a pretty good matchup for the Hypno. It looks like Venusaur trying to... wasn't sure if it was lagging. A little bit might have looked like it was lagging. It's kind of difficult to tell, but the Frenzy Plant is going to come through. Experiencing more lag, but we'll see. I guess they're just playing it out. So the Venusaur does go ahead and faint. Frenzy Plant, as you see, did a lot to Hypno, but Hypno can just farm down. So Hypno definitely winning that. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Focus Blast. Definitely the correct decision because both are resisted. And it's going to do I mean, it's decent damage, right? It's nothing crazy, but it's decent. Hypno is going to be recalled for the Toxicroak, trying to get to the Sludge Bomb. Toxicroak probably doesn't even have to go for Sludge Bomb at this point. Gonna shield that neutral attack, Play Rough. And yeah, gonna go ahead and charge up to the Sludge Bomb and go for the Mud Bomb just to get off as much damage as possible against this Azumel. Azumel will go ahead and shield that one up. And it's gonna go for a charge attack right now. Toxicroak will shield it. It's going to be an Ice Beam. Wants to knock out this Azumel. Maybe Bastiodon is in the back. We'll have to see. So Mud Bomb will come out to hit this Azumel. And that will be enough to finish it off. As I said, no reason to go for Sludge Bomb. It looks like the Alolan Marowak is in the back. So just go for Mud Bombs. That obviously is the better move to go for against Alolan Marowak. So Shield will come out. And out comes the Azumel. And this looks like it's going to be a good game. I mean, Azumel should be able to get to a Hydro Pump. Bone Club, not going to do much. Yeah, definitely going to be able to get to the Hydro Pump. Shadow Ball, a couple Shadow Balls, not even enough to knock out the Azumel. So, Hydro Pump coming out. This is easily going to take out the Alolan Marowak. So, despite losing Game 1, K-Pop is going to win Round 1. So, really well played, as I said, to both competitors. So, let's go ahead and move on to Round 2. Battling Soon 711. So, he is running Hypno, a shiny Hypno actually, Azumel, Deoxys, Probopass, also having that Ferrothorn and Noctowl, so pretty cool team. I can't wait to see, hopefully we see a Ferrothorn. I really want to see a Ferrothorn, so gonna go ahead and shield that. It is going to be an Ice Punch coming in from the Hypno, so nice call to shield that. And Altaria will go ahead and go for that Sky Attack, doing some pretty good damage. Out comes the Azumel, so really nice play to switch into that Azumel. Might as well just go for the Sky Attacks, right, just to get off some neutral damage. It's not going to do a crazy amount, but it's better than nothing. This Azumel probably going to farm up a little bit extra and then go for the Ice Beam, which is going to be enough to knock out the Altaria easily. So we do have the Ferrothorn in the back, so let's see how it's going to be played. Opting to bring in Toxicroak and not the Ferrothorn. So it looks like Azumel going to go ahead and go for that Ice Beam, doing some pretty good damage, quite a bit of damage actually. Going straight for that Sludge Bomb, wants to knock out the Azumel ASAP. So that Sludge Bomb will be shielded. So out comes Hypno and in comes that Ferrothorn. So we're seeing Bullet Seed and Power Whip. Get into that Power Whip so fast. I definitely want to try out Ferrothorn myself just because of how spammy it is, right? And Bullet Seed, just such a good move because they buffed it up. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Ice Punch, it's neutral. I mean, it's doing decent damage, but you know, it's not enough to knock out the Ferrothorn or anything. Fire Punch would obviously devastate it, although I don't think I've seen a Hypno with Fire Punch in the Voyager Cup or Regionals yet. But that might be pretty interesting. I think people like to run either Ice Punch for the Altaria or maybe Tropius or Grass types, or the Thunder Punch for Azumel, which is really common. But Deoxys is going to pull the switch into Azumel. Azumel does get off a charge attack. Gonna go ahead and shield that up, wants to protect the Ferrothorn. In comes the Toxicroak, trying to get to this Mud Bomb or Sludge Bomb, actually charging up for the Sludge Bomb and going for the Mud Bomb, almost fainting, so nice play, able to get the Mud Bomb and knock out the Azumel. In comes Defense Deoxys, and Power Whip is coming out from Ferrothorn. This is not going to be enough to knock out the Ferrothorn. Those counters are going to be able to feint the Ferrothorn, so losing game 2, round 2 I should say, right? Was that the second game? No, I guess that was the first game. Okay, so losing the first game. So we're going to jump into the second game. So leading with the Azumel, so it's going to be an Azumel mirror match. So did I catch what attacks that opposing Azumel had? I'm not sure if I saw it. I don't think I did, so I don't know if it has the Play Rough. My Azumel currently has Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, but Play Rough is definitely a good way to go as well. So an attack coming out, it's going to be Hydro Pump. So that opposing Azumel obviously doesn't have Play Rough, otherwise you would have went for it. So K-Pop's Azumel definitely has the advantage in this situation. And looks like the Azumel is backing out into Ferrothorn, so getting a lot of damage off before the switch comes out into Noctowl. So Noctowl is going to go ahead and be hit by this charge attack. It is going to be a Flash Cannon, so Noctowl correctly shielding that. Really nice shield on the Noctowl side. I probably wouldn't have shielded that just because I wouldn't have even thought about what it had. Well, I guess I would have known it had Thunder, so I guess that shield makes a lot of sense. So Ferrothorn going to go ahead and go for another Flash Cannon. Is this going to connect? It is, doing a lot of damage, and look how fast it gets to Flash Cannon. That is crazy. Bullet Seed is such a good move, guys. It really is. So Thorn gonna go ahead and shield that up, and it's gonna retreat into Hypno. Perhaps wants to go for the Ice Punch, or maybe just faint down with Confusions at this point. A Sky Attack will come out from the Noctowl, doing a decent amount of damage, and in comes the Azumel. Is Hypno going to protect? Hypno is not going to, so going to be that Ice Beam. Okay, going to be Ice Beam. Going for the Ice Punch with the Hypno, trying to do whatever damage it can to the Azumel. Azumel actually blocks, maybe fearing, I guess, the Thunder Punch, so nice shield, nice picking up that shield. Another Ice Punch comes out. Not going to do much to the Azumel, but getting it low. Azumel going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam just to finish off this Hypno. As you can see, it is going to be an Ice Beam. So Hypno does collapse. And out comes Ferrothorn. Going to go ahead and faint with Bullet Seed. Has the Flash Cannon ready. Has the Power Whip ready. Going to go ahead. It's going to be that Noctowl. I saw the Wing Attack come through. So Flash Cannon is going to be enough. It was low, but it's definitely going to be enough. Out comes that Defense Deoxys. Ooh, this is, I think, oh, I don't know, guys. I don't know, because obviously we know Thunderbolt from Defense Deoxys probably coming Azumel's way, but Azumel still has a shield. K-Pop still has a shield. So we're going to go ahead and protect itself. This might be a bait. No, it's going to be that Thunderbolt. So that would have been enough, or very close. I think that would have been enough. Can he get to a play rough? He cannot, unless this is Rock Slide. I feel like this is Thunderbolt. Let's see. It is going to be a Thunderbolt, enough to knock out that Azumel, and then Ferrothorn faints. So I thought he was going to win that one, loses round 2. But that's okay, because we're jumping into Game 3, so maybe he could win Game 3. I mean, he still loses round 2, but we'll see what happens in Game 3. So Hypno versus Ferrothorn on the opponent's side. So unfortunately, this Hypno does not have Fire Punch, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Perhaps charging up for the Focus Blast is going to be super effective to that Ferrothorn. So Ferrothorn is going to go ahead and just go for those Power Whips. That does a lot of damage to Hypno. That is crazy how much damage that does. It really does. It really does a lot of damage. So, gonna go ahead and actually Hypno gonna go ahead and shield that power up. That's how much damage it does. And it only takes like 3 bullet seeds, right? So that's crazy. So Ferrothorn, definitely a Pokemon you actually might want to consider. I might want to consider it myself. So Hypno gonna go ahead and use Ice Punch. That Ferrothorn will shield itself. In comes Altaria. So that Ferrothorn will switch out into Defense Deoxys. So going to go ahead and go for that Sky Attack. This I don't imagine will be shielded, no. I mean, it does decent damage, but Defense Deoxys is such a tank, it could definitely take it. So Defense Deoxys is going to go ahead and go for that Rock Slide. Super effective damage. One more Sky Attack maybe. Can he get to it? He can. So going to go ahead and get to that Sky Attack. Trying to knock out Deoxys, but the shield might come. It does come that time, because Defense Deoxys wants to get to this Rock Slide, as he'll be able to knock out this Altaria easily. So Altaria does go ahead and fall. Out comes Azumel, probably going to farm down this Defense Deoxys. This I think might be a Rock Slide. Let's see. It is going to be a Rock Slide, so couldn't get to the Thunderbolt. So out comes the Azumel. So Azumel going to go ahead and go for the Play Rough. Definitely has an advantage because he does have that Play Rough. That's one of the reasons I want to carry Play Rough on my Azumel, because I want to be able to win that mirror match, because I feel like the mirror match is super common, right? So going to go ahead and go for the other Play Rough. The opposing Azumel basically has to go for Hydro Pump, because Ice Beam is not going to do much. Hydro Pump does good damage, but it takes longer to get to than the Play Rough. So Azumel trying to get to this Play Rough. This is definitely, probably, I believe, going to be an Ice Beam coming from the opposing Azumel, as it is. So Ice Beam not really doing much. Azumel does get to the Play Rough, okay. So this should be enough, I believe. Yeah, definitely enough to knock out the opposing Azumel. Out comes Defense Deoxys. Hypno will go ahead and be able to feint that. And Ferrothorn comes in. Hypno will go ahead and protect itself. So the Power Whip, that would have been enough to knock out Hypno, but Ice Punch is, actually, is Ice Punch enough? It is neutral. I'm not sure if it's enough. No, it's not, but a Confusion should be able to do it. Yes, it is. Couldn't get to another Power Whip, so K-Pop does win Game 3, but he still lost the round. So really well played, though. So we're going to jump into round 3. The opponent is running a really cool team. Poliwrath, Noctowl, Altaria, Empoleon, Alolan Marowak, and Lantern. So losing the lead hard to this Fire Spin, Alolan Marowak switching into Altaria versus Poliwrath. That was an interesting switch on the opponent's end, because you have this flying attack, Sky Attack, going to do a lot of damage, although Poliwrath does threaten a lot with Ice Punch, so I could totally understand that switch. Ice Punch coming through, doing a lot of damage to that Alteria. K-Pop allowing it to go through. So we're going to go ahead and shield this one because he wants to be able to knock out the Poliwrath. And he will shield that as expected. So going to go ahead and go for another Sky Attack. So this Sky Attack will be enough to knock out the Poliwrath, but Poliwrath does protect itself. Trying to get to another Ice Punch. Looked like K-Pop wanted to switch to catch the Ice Punch, but was not able to do so. Going to go ahead and protect itself from that Poliwrath. So switching into Ferrothorn, catching the Ice Punch. So that was a really nice switch to catch the Ice Punch with Ferrothorn. Not doing a lot of damage. In comes Lantern. Lantern, very interesting because this Ferrothorn, maybe that was a mistake because this Ferrothorn has Power Whip and it resists all of Lantern's charge attacks, but that's okay. We all make mistakes, so it might have been a mistake. Or maybe he didn't feel like he had a better answer to it. So Hydro Pump hitting, actually doing a good amount of damage, so maybe he just wanted to get the Hydro Pump off. K-Pop will go for a Power Whip, not needing to click any bubbles. This is going to be enough to knock out the Lantern, as it does there. So in comes Alolan Marowak, gonna go ahead and go for the Power Whip, just wants to get any damage off it can get. So not doing much, but just wants to get off the damage. In comes Alteria. Alteria will go ahead and click on the Sky Attack. The Sky Attack, let's see, will not be enough, but oh wow, gets to a Charge Attack. Is this going to be a Shadow Ball? I feel like it is. It is going to be a Shadow Ball, so that's going to knock out the Alteria. But the Azumel is in the back, ready to fight. So Poliwrath comes in. Poliwrath is not going to be able to touch this Azumel. So it's going to go ahead and go for a Charge Attack, but again, doesn't matter. Dynamic Punch not going to be enough. Azumel's just going to be able to get off this play rough and knock out the opposing Poliwrath and be able to take game one. So well played by K-Pop. And we're going to go ahead and get into the next game. Looks like their friendship is increasing. Always nice to see. So let's see. I want to see that Empoleon in action. So we have Ferrothorn versus Alolan Marowak. Definitely a terrible situation for K-Pop. Going to have to bail immediately like we saw in game one. Into Alteria. The Marowak is going to bail into, again, the Poliwrath. I don't know about that switch. I mean, I know it has the Ice Punch, but I feel like I wouldn't want to bring it in against an Alteria. Maybe if I had an energy advantage, you know, I already had the Ice Punch ready to go. I don't know, but that's okay. I could totally understand bringing it in because of that Ice Punch, but that's just the way his opponent decided to play it out. So Ice Punch not connected because of the shield, so Sky Attack coming out from this Alteria. This is going to be enough to knock out the Poliwrath unless if the shield comes out. It does. So let's see. Another Ice Punch going to come out. Is K-Pop going to shield? He is not, so this Alteria will fall. So perhaps the opponent was onto something, able to knock out the Alteria. In comes the Ferrothorn. So is this going to be a Dynamic Punch? It is not, so it's going to be an Ice Punch neutral damage. So looks like he just wants to farm down this Poliwrath. Wow, an aggressive farm. Really cool though, really cool to see. So going to go ahead and shield this, not wanting to lose all of that energy. That Dynamic Punch would have done a lot, probably even knocked out the Ferrothorn. So we're going to go ahead and click on the Power Whip. Probably has multiple Power Whips at this point, not doing much. But the Azumel comes out, and Marowak switches out into Lantern, but this Azumel does have Play Rough, so at least it's going to be able to do some nice neutral damage. So as you can see, it's some pretty good damage. But obviously the Thunderbolts are going to be doing a lot of damage as well to this Azumel. So Thunderbolt will come out, just needs one more Thunderbolt, and yeah, should be able to get to it. I mean, this Play Rough is not going to be enough to knock out the Lantern. It's going to do some good damage, but it's just not going to be enough, so the Lantern probably can get to it, unless if it wants to farm down. It does. Wow, nice play. Able to farm down and has energy for this Ferrothorn. So this is going to come out. Don't forget that Alolan Marowak is in the back. So going to be able to survive these Power Whips and Flash Cannon because Alolan Marowak does resist all of its attacks. So this Power Whip is not going to be enough. One more would though. Can he get to it? Can he get to it? Oh my gosh, no, wait a minute. This might not be enough. Is it a Bone Club? No, it's a Shadow Ball. Never mind, it is enough. I was going to say that might not be enough, so going to go ahead and win that one. So K-Pop will win that. So really well played. Actually, no, he loses that. Excuse me. What am I saying? So jumping into game 3, Altaria versus the Alolan Marowak. Not bringing the Ferrothorn this time. In comes Poliwrath, actually switching out. Actually, that switch makes a lot of sense, obviously, because Azumel is going to resist all of these attacks. Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch. We know the moveset on that Poliwrath, so going to be able to resist every single attack. Power Up Punch, it doesn't matter what it has, right? So Azumel going for that Poliwrath, so doing a lot of damage to that Poliwrath. Poliwrath is able to survive it though, because I guess it's kind of bulky. So Dynamic Punch hitting the Azumel, not doing much damage. So let's see what comes out. Going to be that Lantern, so at least Poliwrath is going to be able to do some damage. This Azumel basically already did its job, so we might as well get off some extra damage, to that Lantern, right? So trying to get to another Poliwrath. Lantern getting off another charge attack. This Thunderbolt definitely going to be enough to knock it out, but as I said, Azumel already did his job. In comes a Ferrothorn, Alolan Marowak, and then Altaria going for that immediate Sky attack. Definitely does not want the Ferrothorn in against the Alolan Marowak, no doubt about it. So it looks like a charge attack going to come through. Might be a Shadow Ball, probably will be. Yeah, it will be a Shadow Ball. So Altaria will go ahead and shield it up, and now Altaria is trying to get to the Sky attack, does successfully get to it. So let's see what happens. That will not be enough, or actually I guess it was enough. It looked like it was close, but in comes that Lantern. That's okay, because Lantern is really low at this point. So K-Pop just going to allow the attack to come through. Thunderbolt is neutral. So Altaria able to take it. Sky attack coming through. Going to try and knock out this Lantern. So Lantern does go ahead and fall, and that's going to be the game. So K-Pop is going to be able to win round 3, and moving on to round 4, the opponent is running Hypno, Azumel, Altaria, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Meganium. So leading with that Meganium versus the Azumel. Azumel will bail into Hypno. Hypno is so common in the Voyager Cup and regionals. It's such a good Pokemon because of how tanky it is, and it has a selection of moves, all of which are good. So this Hypno just going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch, trying to get off some good, super effective damage. Just one more Ice Punch is going to be enough to knock it out, unless if he wants to farm down. Out comes the Azumel. So Azumel going to go ahead and actually be able to wall this Hypno. So going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch, perhaps trying to bait the Thunder Punch, but not going to get it. So now the opponent knows that there's no Thunder Punch on this Hypno. So Hypno is going to take an Ice Beam to the face and trying to get to maybe this Focus Blast, or going to go ahead and pull the switch to save the energy. That makes a lot of sense into an Azumel. So Azumel going to go ahead and take this attack. Let's see what it's going to be. Going to be that Play Rough, totally fine, because the Azumel does have a Play Rough and it's healthier, so it's going to be able to win this mirror match. So Play Rough coming through, doing a good amount of damage. Out comes the Meganium though. This Meganium going to go ahead and go for that Frenzy Plant. That will be enough to knock out the Azumel. So let's see. It's going to be that Altaria that comes in. Going to try and farm down. Now, a charge attack is coming through, but this Altaria can take any charge attack from Meganium. So able to easily eat up that Frenzy Plant and faint down the Meganium. So let's see what the opponent wants to send out. It's going to be a Toxicroak. Okay, so interesting. So Sky Attack going to go ahead and go into that. This has to be shielded. Yeah, going to go ahead and be shielded. And let's see. Going to go ahead and this might be the Sludge Bomb. This is probably the Sludge Bomb. It is Sludge Bomb, as I said. So going to do a lot of damage. I mean, that does a lot of damage to Altaria, right? So Sludge Bomb is neutral. It's powerful. Toxicroak is powerful. So going to switch right now into Hypno. And that Hypno wants to delete the Toxicroak so bad with Confusion. Mud Bomb not going to connect. And okay, so it was a CMP type. Ice Beam is going to be able to knock out this Toxicroak, as it does. So out comes another Pokemon. Ice Beam going into the Azumel, right? It's going to be an Azumel. It is going to be able to win that game. Wow, that was actually a really close game. So really well played to K-Pop. Way to go. So going to jump into game 2 right now. So K-Pop will be leading with Ferrothorn against Azumel. So definitely going to go ahead and pick up that lead. Azumel will bail into Meganium, switching into Hypno. So at least this Hypno has the Ice Punch. So Ice Punch really coming in handy for Hypno. Meganium, going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant. That does a lot of damage as well, as I've mentioned earlier, because Frenzy Plant is just such a powerful move. So Ice Punch going to go and not connect. So, but at least he picked up a shield, right? So this Frenzy Plant will be enough, but Hypno is going to go ahead and protect itself, so it will not faint to that Frenzy Plant. And Hypno going to go ahead and almost get to an Ice Punch, going to opt to use the second shield. That makes a lot of sense because he doesn't want to waste that energy and he wants to be able to feint this Meganium. Now this will not be enough to feint Meganium, but the additional confusion will be. So as you can see, Meganium does fall. And so winning the switch advantage, but down a shield, so Azumarill will go ahead and feint that Hypno, but in comes Ferrothorn. So Azumarill going to go ahead and bail. Going to go ahead and use that Flash Cannon. Going to do a good amount of damage to this Altaria. As you can see, almost half, not quite, almost. So Azumarill comes in, does have that play rough. Going to go ahead and be able to take these Sky attacks. Going to be able to eat him all day. Well, maybe not all day, but can I eat a few of them? So charging up quite a bit of extra energy. In fact, the Altaria actually gets to another charge attack because he charged up a little bit too much, but that's totally fine. Good to go ahead and go for the play rough. This might be shielded. I'm not really too sure. It is shielded, so okay. Okay, can he get to another one? He can. So even though that was shielded, still able to get to another one. And that will be enough to knock out the Altaria. And in comes the opposing Azumarill. So, okay, that's the last Pokemon able to get to a play rough. So, we're going to go ahead and use this play rough to do a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage, but a decent amount of damage. The opposing Azumarill going to be able to use its energy to not even knock out, but in comes that Ferrothorn. This is definitely a game over. Ferrothorn is too healthy to be able to be knocked out by like Ice Beam, and it's going to be able to get to the Power Whoop, and this is definitely going to be enough. So nice performance by Ferrothorn as well. I really liked seeing it. Of course, we're not over, so we're going to go ahead and win that. Now, I actually only had 2 battles from round 4. I don't know why. So we're going to jump into round 5 right now, and his opponent going to be running Venusaur, Azumarill, Defense Deoxys, Bastiodon, Zweilous, and Haunter. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing Zweilous correct, so if I'm not, I'm not. But anyway, Hypno's going to bail into to catch the Haunter, right? So the Haunter is doing super effective damage, but at the same time, Hypno is just doing so much more damage with confusion because Haunter is so squishy. Out comes Bastiodon. I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the Focus Blast. That makes sense because Hypno has such a large move pool. You don't know if it's going to have the Focus Blast, so you might want to risk it and hope that it doesn't. Obviously, in this case, the Focus Blast did connect for that reason. So that was really well played. Flamethrower coming through, but Hypno able to take it and knock out Bastiodon. So actually knocking out 2 Pokemon already. Hypno is an absolute beast, guys. It really is. It's such a good Pokemon. Defense Deoxys shields and then knocks out Hypno. And in comes Toxicroak. So Toxicroak does have to watch out for Psycho Cut, although most Deoxys, from what I could tell, don't run Psycho Cut, but it is always a possible threat. But anyway, looks like that Deoxys is charging up. Toxicroak doesn't care, going to risk the Psycho Boost. It is Psycho Boost, so it's going to knock out Toxicroak. And in comes the Azumarill. Probably okay with that anyway, because now Defense Deoxys attack is lowered, and Azumarill is going to be able to take these Thunderbolts. Well, it doesn't have Thunderbolt, but definitely going to be able to take the Rock Slide. Able to go for the Hydro Pump. This is definitely going to be, well, I don't know if this is going to knock it out, but the Azumarill is definitely going to win. It's not going to knock it out, but Azumarill, as you can see, still goes ahead and wins that. So really good game. Really good game. Again, increasing friendship. Always nice to see. So going up into game 2 against Sunny Cheese. So let's see. Leading with the Hypno. Hypno, a very popular lead. A lot of people love leading it. I wish I used Hypno in my Mega Tournament Cup. I love Hypno. I really want to use it. So Venusaur comes in. This is actually not good for the Azumarill because it doesn't have Ice Beam, although the opposing Venusaur doesn't know that because it shields, but now it realizes it, so it realizes it doesn't have to shield again. I'm going to go ahead and get off the Frenzy Plant right now. This is going to be enough. K-Pop okay with allowing Azumarill to go down because it can't really do much against the Venusaur without Ice Beam. So in comes the Hypno. At least it got a shield though, right? At least it got a shield. This Frenzy Plant is going to do a lot of damage to the Hypno. Another one is going to be enough to knock it out. Hypno will get to the Ice Punch, also doing super effective damage with that Confusion attack. So Ice Punch will be enough to knock out the Venusaur. So let's see what comes in. Up a shield, so that's always nice. In comes the Azumel, but the Hypno does not have Thunder Punch. So Toxicroak is going to come in. This is really not a great situation for K-Pop, but let's see how he plays it out. Play rough, going to connect to the Toxicroak. In comes Defense Deoxys. Going to go ahead and shield this attack right now. That would have been enough to knock out the Toxicroak. Still fighting back, not giving up, even though it might not be the greatest situation. Going to go ahead and go for the Sludge Bomb right now. That will connect and do a good amount of damage, but it looks like counters are going to be enough to knock out the Toxicroak. In comes Hypno. Hypno will go ahead and opt to shield this attack. I don't know if that would have knocked it out, but it would have been super close. Had to shield it. There's no way Hypno's going to be able to pull this one out, unfortunately. But it will go for the Ice Punch. That will knock out the Defense Deoxys, but Azumel is just way too healthy. An Ice Punch and Focus Blast are just not going to do much damage to an Azumel. So I'm going to go ahead and shield that, might as well, and just bubble down at that point. So Hypno does go ahead and fall, and we're going to jump into a Game 3. So let's see what the leads are going to be. K-Pop will lead with Toxicroak versus the opposing Azumel. So let's see how this is played out. Looks like both of them opting to stay in. Just wants to go for the Sludge Bomb maybe, or perhaps bait, going straight for Sludge Bomb, hoping that it connects, right? Wants to do that damage. It does connect, so nice call not to shield bait. Going to go ahead and opt to shield this attack. Going to be that play rough, not wanting to take that damage, would have been neutral. In comes Haunter. Now Hypno can come in and just Confusion down. Probably going to take it, expecting the Shadow Punch. It is a Shadow Punch. It does decent damage. I mean, Hypno is weak to it. Going to get to another Shadow Punch, actually. So is he going to use his last shield? He is going to use that final shield already. So down 2 shields. So it's going to be tricky. Let's see if he can pull this off. So in comes that Defense Deoxys. Okay, so Ice Punch going to go ahead and go into the Defense Deoxys. And this is going to do... it's not going to do much at all. And it looks like he's going to be able to get to another one. Actually, the opposing Defense Deoxys is going to go ahead and bail to catch this Ice Punch. That was a nice switch on the opposing end. Although Azumel really low anyway. In comes Toxicroak. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb, hoping to pick up a shield. I mean, he is up 2 shields. The opponent is up 2 shields. So Defense Deoxys will go ahead and start using those shields and protect itself, not wanting to take any chances. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, this could go either way. Let's see. Hypno comes in, and Hypno is going to go ahead and fall to counter. Yeah, this is a really tricky situation. I mean, that Deoxys has a shield. It is at half health. It's going to go ahead and go for the Rock Slide. It does not have Thunderbolt. I think Azumel actually might be able to pull this off. This is going to be close. Let's see what happens, because that Defense Deoxys still has a shield. So about the same health. Yeah, Deoxys might take it. I don't really know. This is definitely going to be shielded. This play rough cannot take any more damage. So going to go ahead and shield it. Can the Azumel get to another play rough? It looks like he will be able to. This Rock Slide is not going to be enough to knock out the Azumel. Actually, it's going to be a Psycho Boost. Oh, can he get to... He has 2 Psycho Boosts. That's going to knock out the Azumel. So K-Pop taking another loss. So losing 2 games so far. This is a 6-round tournament. Ooh, so that was a tough loss. That was very close. So let's go ahead and jump into the final game. The opponent is running Wigglytuff, Umbreon, Ludicolo, Bronzong, Alolan Marowak, and Minun. So Bastiodon versus Ludicolo. Looks like this is not a great situation for the Bastiodon. Does have neutral attacks, but Ludicolo is going to go ahead and go for a charge attack right now. Going to be that Energy Ball. That was also recently buffed. But Bastiodon is such a wall, it could take it. So Bastiodon will go for the Flamethrower, going for the neutral damage. Ludicolo will shield it. And it looks like trying to catch an Energy Ball, not able to catch it. Ludicolo switches out into a Alolan Marowak, just farm down right at this point with that Fire Spin attack, because Ferrothorn is going to be double weak to it. So trying to get to this power up, able to get to it, but I don't think Alolan Marowak really has anything to worry about. So Power Whip does connect. I mean, the damage adds up, right? The damage adds up. But Ferrothorn going to be able to fall and faint. In comes the Azumel. Alolan Marowak will be able to go for a Bone Club. Okay, so I guess he was shield baiting. Gonna go ahead and go for another charge attack. This is probably the Shadow Ball. It is. That will pick up a shield, so nice play on K-Pops to go ahead and shield the correct Shadow Ball. This is going to be another charge attack. Let's see what it's going to be. Going to be a Bone Club. Azumel able to easily take that. Could have taken a Shadow Ball as well. Ludicolo coming in, wanting to go for a charge attack. Probably the Energy Ball. It is the Energy Ball Azumel does shield that. And it was a CMP tie, so Play Rough coming out, trying to hit this Ludicolo. Ludicolo will shield itself. In comes the Bastiodon. Ludicolo switches out into Bronzong. So Flamethrower coming through from the Bastiodon, although it's not going to be enough to knock out Bastiodon, but it's still going to do some good damage. Some really good damage, actually. Going to go ahead and use a charge attack, not wanting that Bastiodon to get to another Flamethrower. Psyshock, actually not enough to knock it out. That's how tanky Bastiodon is. But Bronzong does feint it. In comes the Azumel. Azumel going to be able to take these attacks. I mean, Bulldoze, right? It could take Bulldoze. It could take Psyshock. So Psyshock coming through. But looks like just going to go ahead and feint it down. Has energy for whatever comes in. Going to go ahead and use that Play Rough. And this is going to be enough to knock out that Ludicolo. So really well played by K-Pop, able to win Game 1 in Round 6. So jumping into Game 2, if he wins this, he's going to be 4-2. His record's going to be 4-2, which is really good, right? So Ferrothorn versus the beautiful shiny Ludicolo. So just going to go ahead and do neutral damage with these charge attacks. Able to get to a Power Whip. It looks like that Ludicolo switched. It was kind of difficult to tell. I think it switched. It did into Minun. Wow, that Minun takes a lot of damage. One more Power Whip is going to knock out Minun. That Minun switch was actually really interesting. Like, I don't know, but going to be able to knock out the Minun. Maybe it was a mistake again, but that's okay. Mistakes happen to all of us, right? So out comes the Alolan Marowak. Yeah, he probably meant to switch into a Alolan Marowak, so that was definitely a mistake. But again, it's okay. Mistakes happen. You can't fault anybody for a mistake. It is what it is. So Bone Club hitting the Bastiodon. Bastiodon, even though it's double weak to it, can still take it. So Bastiodon going to opt to go for that Stone Edge. Makes sense, trying to knock out the shiny Alolan Marowak. In comes the Ludicolo, going to go ahead and go for an Energy Ball. Okay, I mean, it does pretty good damage to it. It is neutral to Bastiodon. Ludicolo probably just wanting to farm. Yeah, wanting to farm, but Bastiodon does get off a Stone Edge. So this Stone Edge going to not connect because it is shielded by Ludicolo. In comes the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn will go ahead and shield this one. Looks like this is going to be K-Pop's game. Going to shield that Ice Beam. And yeah, going to go ahead and get to the Power Whip against this Ludicolo. So that is going to be enough. Yep, it is enough. In comes Alolan Marowak. Ferrothorn is exiting immediately. Yeah, there's nothing this Alolan Marowak can do. This is definitely a game over. So K-Pop ultimately ending up going 4-2 in their regional. So really well played. Thank you so much for submitting these battles. I really do appreciate it. Again, go ahead and follow K-Pop on Twitter. Totally recommend it. I'll also leave a link to the tournament page in the description down below if you want to go ahead and check that. We still have one more game, but this final game is not going to affect the final round. But yeah, 4-2 is really impressive as well. I'm hoping to do well in my regional. My regional's not this weekend, it's the following weekend. So we'll see how I do. I'm aiming to win it. You know, I do have a strategy that I think is really good. It seems really good. So I haven't said anything about it yet. I'm going to see how it performs at regionals, and we'll see how I do with it. But either way, the Bastiodon will go ahead and go for Stone Edge. Going to do some neutral damage to the Umbreon. Umbreon very tanky. So it's going to go ahead and get off what I assume to be a foul play right now. It's going to be that foul play, of course. But let's see. It looks like these two Pokemon are just sticking it out, hanging out. So foul play going to connect, doing some pretty good damage. This Stone Edge going to connect. Actually, it's not going to connect. It's going to attempt to connect. In comes Ludicolo, and Bastiodon will leave for Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn, well, Ice Beam is neutral, so this might be an Ice Beam attack. It is going to be Ice Beam. Okay, neutral damage. It actually did a lot of damage. So Ferrothorn is going to go ahead and use its Energy Ball, or Power Whip, excuse me. The Energy Ball is on Ludicolo's side. So Ferrothorn going to go ahead and probably not shield. Okay, Well, actually, Furthorn actually survives that. Never mind. So Furthorn will be able to get off a Power Whip, and this will be enough to knock out that Ludicolo. Ludicolo will go ahead and fall. So let's see what comes in. It is going to be that Umbreon. So can he get to one more? He cannot. Not enough time. That's okay. Still has that Azumel. Azumel, another really popular pick for the Voyager Cup as well as regionals. It's the same format. So last resort, hitting Azumel, but Azumel can take it. It's just so tanky. You know, Azumel, just such a tank. Another last resort, again, able to take it. Doesn't even do half from 2 last resorts. In comes that Minun. So Hydro Pump, the big, heavy hitting move, going into this Minun. And no, it is not, because it will be shielded. So was hoping to get off that final huge attack, but at least he took his second shield. So Azumel gonna go ahead and protect itself, not wanting to faint. He's gonna be able to get to this Hydro Pump. Ooh, looks like K-pop is lagging. I guess they're continuing to play it out. K-pop gonna go ahead and go for the Hydro Pump. This will be enough to easily knock out that Shiny Minun. In comes that Umbreon, and Bashugan gonna faint it. And that will be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.